Hey there, how is everyone doing tonight? I am really excited. If you're not familiar with who I am, my name is Galen. I go by Chef Galen. I'm a certified holistic nutritionist, dietary health coach, and today we're going to be talking allergies, which is really such an incredible topic. So I wrote a book, a couple books, but this one is the Complete Kefir Guide to Health, Weight Loss, and Beauty. Very important to take your probiotics. Kefir is the number one most powerful probiotic in the world. So if you're looking for live kefir grains, definitely get in touch with me and I will go through that. And I will show you how to make them and how to ferment them and all the things. Okay. So today we're going to be talking about food tolerances. All right. And how to know the difference between an intolerance, sensitivities, and allergies. Okay. So let me just go ahead. I'm just going to read a little bit. Many people who have a reaction to food are quick to classify it as a reaction as a food allergy. So this is really important to know because a lot of times people think that it's a food allergy and they just name it as a food allergy, but actually it can be something a lot more than that. Okay. But there's also a big difference between allergies that can be life-threatening and sensitivity or intolerance, which can cause similar symptoms as an allergy, but does not cause an immediate life-threatening illness. Okay. So that's the difference. All right. So intolerances, sensitivities, and allergies, there are three different components. Okay. Completely. And a lot of times is very interesting. So when I have so I'm a coach, right? I'm a holistic nutritionist and dietary health coach as well as an accountability coach, right? So when I'm going through all the paperwork with my clients, I notice that I'll say, well, do you have any food allergies or are there any intolerances that you don't have? And most people think that everything's an allergy, but it's not. Everything isn't just an allergy. So that's something to remember. All right. And then these are the kind of feelings that you'll feel if you feel like you're getting an allergy. So a food allergy, you'll have tingling or itching in the mouth, hives, itchiness, swelling of the lips or the tongue, throat, or even the throat. You can have a swelling actually in all different parts of your body. Okay. You can have like a wheezing feeling, nasal congestion. You could have abdominal pain or even diarrhea, dizziness, lightheadedness, or fainting. Okay. So if you end up having those, that's more of an allergy. Okay. But you can also have a life-threatening allergy, that's when the tightening of the airways come in. So if you have, like, I'm allergic to erythromycin, and that's a certain kind of medication, and it actually makes my throat close up. Okay. You can also get a swollen throat, difficulty breathing, rapid pulse, dizziness, all those types of things. Okay. So what is one of the main differences between a food allergy and a food sensitivity and intolerance? Okay. So that's what we're talking about today. There's three different components going on here. One of the easiest ways to tell the difference is the amount of time it takes to display the symptom. So if you're getting a symptom immediately, it's definitely probably an allergy. Okay. And that's why it's a true allergy, and that's where an issue comes up. Okay. And if you get something kind of like within an hour, or while the food sensitivity or intolerance might take a few hours or a few days to actually present itself to you, this can make it difficult to spot if it's just a food sensitivity or if you're actually legit allergic to it. And I feel like this is really helpful because once you really start, looking at your own self and being intuitive in what you're looking, to see, if you really are allergic to something versus being intolerant, then moving forward in life, you can be more sensitive to what you eat. Okay. But it's also good too, especially if you have children out there, right? Like this whole like nut allergy thing. It's like, is it really an allergy or is it just something that doesn't work with your body, or is it life threatening? Or there's like a lot of components that are involved in that. So you can do blood tests and you can also get skin tests. I have my clients to start eliminating certain things out of their diets, because a lot of times what people are allergic to, unfortunately, it is pretty universal. Okay. And these are really the foods that kind of trigger most people if they do have an allergy. All right. So artificial additives like MSG or coloring, right? We always hear about the red dye, how bad it is for you, and how it's illegal in all these other states except for America. I mean, countries except for America. And also aspartame, which is an artificial sugar. So aspartame is in most gum that's sugar free. And I must be the only mom out there that will go into like a Walgreens or a CVS and say, "Do you have any bubble gum that actually has sugar in it, like a bubble gum?" I do not let my kids eat any kind of sugar that has aspartame in it. Thankfully, over the last couple of years, you can get sugar-free gum now with stevia in it or something like that. But for the most part, really look at all your sugar-free components of what you're drinking and make sure there's no aspartame in there, because you can get really crazy headaches and you don't know why. You could literally be allergic, and it even can be a life-threatening illness, the aspartame, in all of these different foods and these drinks and in these bubble gums. And just to let you know, it's actually outlawed. Aspartame is actually outlawed in 32 other countries. But here in America, everyone's eating all this poison. It just drives me crazy. Drives me crazy. So that's just something to really look at too. And the side effects of aspartame, the first one is usually you start getting chronic headaches. Okay, so check what kind of bubble gum you're chewing on the daily, and it literally could just be as simple as that. Just omitting the aspartame in your sugar-free bubble gum. Now life is good. Okay, citrus, coffee and caffeine, corn and corn derivatives, dairy products, and I was going to say something about corn too. It's not really that it's like corn on the cob, but there's so many products that we get that are made with corn, and they have to go through like a pasteurization process. It's just they end up adding all these additives to it and preservatives, and it actually becomes like a biogenic like food that you're digesting, which isn't even food. It's like plastic basically. So bad for you, right? Eggs, certain kind of glutens, not all glutens. Y'all know how I feel about that. And peanuts, tree nuts, shellfish, soy, and wheat and refined flour. And I just want to say, those of you that have an allergy to shellfish, my heart goes out to you. I just cannot imagine not being able to eat a lobster or a shrimp for the rest of time. But that happens to be a really huge allergy for a lot of people. Okay, especially being in the restaurant world and for literally 30 years and only 4 restaurants across the country. I'm telling you, these allergies are real. And but I will say the shellfish is probably the most popular one that I've dealt with most of my customers over the years. Okay, you can get testing for different food allergies, intolerances, and sensitivities, like I was telling you. But it's best to try to define what it is yourself before you go into a doctor, because a lot of times when you get these testings, there's so much misinformation the way that they try to diagnose you. It's really like I've seen some crazy things. Crazy thing. Like people like these tests or these doctors will say that someone has an allergy to something that they literally have no allergy to. And so for the rest of the time, they're not able to eat a certain thing. So really, I would take the time to really check your own self, okay, before you go off and do that. Okay, so something that I suffered with for a long time, which I healed myself from, is celiac disease, okay? And 2.5 million people in America alone suffer from celiac. So that is a strong sensitivity that you can have. Like you won't, most people don't die from it. It's just more sensitive to different foods. It's not like a life-threatening illness that you're going to end up having, but you will not feel your best. And it makes you kind of feel like nauseous most of the time. And also too, there's a lot of brain fog and you're very irritable. You're not the best person to be around. I'll tell you what, when I ended up healing from celiac disease, I was like, I am a new person. And all disease begins in the gut. So that's why it's very, very important to make sure that you're doing a proper detox. Okay. So I wanted to close on this too. Is like, okay, I'm not just going to talk about food, but I also wanted to say too, you can have like allergies to a lot of different makeups. That's why I say really be careful, ladies, what you put on your lips. Okay, they say like the average woman eats like a tube of lipstick a year. We like our lipstick, don't we, ladies? Anyway, so really be careful of that. And even you men who put chapstick on, make sure that it's clean and that there's not any kind of additives in there that your body could be sensitive to, or where you could have an intolerance or an allergy. Okay, so and then also to sunscreen, you need to be careful of that. That's something that you can digest. And also stamps, stickers. Like if you're looking at envelope, I can't even imagine back in the day what might have happened. I mean, remember when we were all licking the envelopes for like so long, because that's how we just did life before emails. Soap, shampoos, toothpaste, mouthwash, cosmetics, and even your what you wash your clothes with. Right. And the other thing too is when you go out to eat, really look at the menu and make sure that the restaurant that you're at, things are very clean. Because if you do have an allergy and everyone's prepping in the same area, it's just impossible. It's just impossible for them to say, like, if a restaurant has shellfish and you're allergic to shellfish, it's very hard to divide the two when you're back there. I only know this because I've worked in a gazillion restaurants that I go in for. So we like to say, yes, we can work around allergies, but full disclosure, there's only so much a restaurant can do, for sure. All right, so there's also lactose intolerance, and this is huge too. So I own a probiotic line called Kefir Complete, and kefir, I recommend it being made with milk. Okay, a raw milk will be best. Although I live in North Carolina, raw milk is outlawed here, so we have to go to South Carolina to get our raw milk. It's crazy. But you can also use goat milk and coconut milk or oat milk, things like that. There's kind of a whole process. So I have so many more videos on my YouTube channel that talk about that kind of process. But lactose, a lot of it depends on what kind of lactose. Now, if you are doing kefir made with live kefir grains, the great thing about it is kefir, however you want to say it, actually builds the lactose in your body. So I used to suffer from celiac disease, and I was lactose intolerant. I'm healed from both of those, fully healed. So I just really encourage you to get on a good probiotic that doesn't go through a pasteurization process. It's all clean and organic, that will actually do the work that your body needs. Okay. All right, I'm going to end with this. Grocery items that may contain lactose include processed and prepared foods such as bread, baked goods, candy, cookies, breakfast drinks, chocolate creamers, coffee creamers. Holy Moses. I feel like I should have like a whole channel just about coffee creamers. I think people do not realize the poison that they're putting in their bodies first thing in the morning. Coffee creamer. If you are using like a coffee mate, look at those ingredients back there, all 20 million ingredients. My angel pie is about to go crazy over here. And okay, so this is what I recommend. They do have a lot of cream, like organic half and half. I even recommend, like, if you want something sweet, just do organic sugar and clean half and half. Do not do those coffee mates or all those other stuff. It is pure poison that you're putting in your body first thing in the morning, and then you're wondering why throughout the day you're not feeling your best self. It's because you already have poison. Like the first thing you did was drink, your coffee is fine, and then you add like all these additives. No, I do a cup of coffee every morning, but I add organic protein, like a little bit of organic protein to it. And I will tell you, you feel amazing, you feel clear-minded, you feel like, all energized, everything's clean in your body. It's so important to stay clean and not to add all those toxins. Okay. So I just give you all a challenge to kind of check that out. And because you don't know what you don't know that you're feeling your best self until you actually feel your best self. Right. So I just say be careful what you put in your coffee in the morning. All right. I love you all. If you feel like this is of giving value, please go ahead and share this information, tag a couple people in here, like and subscribe. And I love you all so much.